Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Transfer Talk Show on Forward Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzy, and I'm your host for today's show. A lot of deals are getting concluded as the season approaches. Also, some deals are falling through due to whatever reason, and there's also some heartbreaks, especially if you're a Liverpool fan. We'll touch on that later in the show. So what we'll do, we'll discuss 20 of the biggest rumours / completed deals that have taken place in the last few days. And, well, that's not the one we're starting with. That will be the final one. So we'll begin with the first deal. And that is Pedro Neto signing for Chelsea. Now, this deal for me came out of nowhere. 50 million is the fee, which is not too bad considering the quality of the player. However, the transfer is still a big risk due to his injury record. He's been injury prone for the last 2-3 years, suffered that big injury a couple of years ago where he was out for almost a year. So, but at the same time, it's probably a risk worth taking. He's a player that will certainly strengthen the Chelsea team, whether he plays on the left wing or the right wing. So I would regard it as a good signing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. The next deal, it was no huge surprise that Solanke made his move this summer after a spectacular season for Bournemouth, where he scored 19 goals in the Premier League. And it's no surprise that Tottenham were in a hunt for his signature, as they never replaced Harry Kane 12 months ago. But I think this is a good deal for all parties. Solanke will be playing for a club that's challenging for European places. He'll be playing in the Europa League next season. The manager's philosophy will suit his game as an attacker, and Spurs sign a striker that is Premier League proven, and I'm sure that certainly played a part. They've always signed players outside of the league that never worked out, so it's probably best for them to target someone that knows the league really well and that is on a current high in terms of form. The transfer fee is around £65 million, which sounds high, but we're in a different market now where a lot of the prices are inflated. So for me, this is a good move for the former Liverpool striker. And speaking of Liverpool, they were smart to add a sell-on clause when they sold Solanke to Bournemouth 5 years ago. They've now ended up gaining around 9 million from the deal. So let's hope that money is used to reinvest into the Liverpool squad. This deal looks like it's on the verge of completion, as Bayern Munich and Manchester United have agreed a deal for Ligt as he is heading towards Old Trafford. In fact, there was a video released yesterday showing that he is ready to fly out to do his medical, which probably will take place today or tomorrow. Now, is this a good signing for Manchester United? I think it is. Some may say that Ligt hasn't hit the heights that were expected of him when he broke into the Ajax team a few years ago. I would slightly disagree. I think he's done well, but unfortunately injuries have hampered his development and he's probably not played as many games as he would have wanted. But I still rate Ligt as a defender, and I also think he's a good defensive partner for Euro, and I think they could actually form a decent partnership. But they'll have to wait a few months as Euro is out injured right now. But United, they are certainly busy in the transfer market, but they still have a lot of work to do as there's a lot of gaps in their squad. This signing certainly came out of the blue for me, as it seemed like Todibo was set to join Italian giants AC Milan, but West Ham came and hijacked the deal in the 11th hour and secured his signature. Todibo is a very highly rated defender, and I think this is a great coup for the Hammers. And they've certainly been busy in this market and have had some interesting signings, which we'll follow up with right now. And this is one of them. So, Summerville to West Ham. This, for me, is a fantastic signing for the Hammers. And they had to fight hard to get his signature, as Summerville was highly sought after. The West Ham attack next season is a mouth-watering prospect. Just imagine Summerville on the left, Paqueta as the number 10, Kudus on the right, and Bowen up top. Now, if you're a West Ham fan, you should be very excited for the coming season. But at the same time, the expectations need to be adjusted, as the level of signings that they're making. I'm expecting West Ham to challenge for a European place next season. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. The other signing that they've made is Fullkrug, the German striker who had a decent Euros for his nation and also played in the Champions League final not so long ago for Borussia Dortmund. He's a prolific striker and he's an interesting profile. However, I would have slight reservations if he is a good fit for West Ham. And I'm not sure if he's suitable for the league, as I think the physicality and the speed and the intensity of how the game is played here might not suit him. But let's see. His record last season was 16 goals and 10 assists in 46 games. So not too shabby in terms of his record there. Another deal that was confirmed earlier today, and that is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he has finally moved to West Ham. I think this is a good signing for West Ham. He would provide a good defensive cover on that right-hand side and allow the likes of Kudus or Bowen, whoever's playing on that right wing, to just go on and do their thing. And I think it's a good move for the player. His career stalled at Manchester United due to injuries and not being given opportunities to play. So a move away from the club and also being back in London might help resurrect his career. Now, I thought this deal was all set and done, but it looks like the deal has broken down. A fee had been agreed of around £36 million for the midfielder, and he even flew to Spain to take his medical. But a deal involving Atletico striker Samu Amorodion has collapsed. So because of that, both deals are now in jeopardy. Now, it's not a direct swap deal, but Atletico were depending on the sale of Amorodion in order to finance the Alvarez deal, which is a big one, as we all know that they've agreed a fee of around 80 million with Man City. So as it stands, Gallagher looks like he's heading back to Cobham. However, Chelsea are targeting another player that could solve the issue and possibly help Gallagher get his move to Atletico Madrid, and that player is João Felix. Now, João Felix, we all know, had a long spell at Chelsea not so long ago. He's currently being linked with a £50 million move back to Stamford Bridge. Is this a good move? In my opinion, I don't think he's the player that they need right now, especially if they've signed Neto, who will be occupying that left wing position. And I know João Felix, that is the role that he played for Chelsea when he was there a couple of years ago. In terms of the fan base, it's a split between the Chelsea fans. Some are pleased about the prospect of seeing Felix back again. A lot of fans are not happy with the club in terms of pursuing this player. So it remains to be seen if this happens. I'm sure Aston Villa will have a say as well, as they've been in pursuit in signing João Felix. So it'll probably be a two-horse race to get this man back to the Premier League. Away from the Premier League a little bit, this transfer has certainly made waves in the football world, and that Spanish midfielder Dani Olmo returning to his homeland and signing for Barcelona. Now, the transfer fee is around the 50 million mark, which is worth every penny, in my opinion. Now, the Barcelona midfield is quite stocked with the likes of De Jong, Gavi, Pedri, Gundogan, Lopez, just to name a few. But I think they will have to find a place for Olmo in the team. He's multifunctional and he can play in different roles. And I believe this is a great signing for Barcelona, and they've got a top player in their hands. The England defender, Gay, has been linked with a move away from Selhurst Park. This time he's been linked with a move to Newcastle. but they haven't just shown interest in signing the player. In fact, they've placed a bid of £50 million, but unfortunately got rejected. But the latest news right now is that Newcastle have made a third bid, which took place yesterday. So there could be some further developments with this rumour. But if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit unsure of this signing, as Newcastle already have a left-footed centre-back in Botman, and it's very unlikely that the team would pair these two defenders together. So it's a lot of money for a player who potentially would be on the bench, in my opinion, as I would personally say Botman is the better defender. Might be controversial, but you let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now, I thought brother Nasser was going to join West Ham as a fee was agreed with Bayern Munich, but it looks like the player may not be in favour of the move and instead would like to join the Red Devils. Astaghfirullah, which means God forbid in Arabic. But jokes aside, the deal seems to be close as he's getting ready to fly out for his medical. Now, should Manchester United fans be excited about this player? Absolutely. He's a baller, and I think he would be a great addition to their squad. The only concern would be his injury record. If they can keep him fit, I think he'll do really well for Manchester United. So let's see if this deal is concluded, and I think it will be done in the coming days. Another player linked with Manchester United this time is Burnley's midfielder Sander Berge. According to rumours, talks have been held between both clubs, but no agreement is in place. Now, if I was a United fan, this signing would concern me, as I believe he's a bang average player at best. Some people will look at stats and say he could do a good job for Manchester United. If that's the level of player that you want to sign, then as a Liverpool fan, I'm saying go for it. From being linked with Ugarte to Berge, it's quite a massive drop. But who knows? Let's see where Sander Berge ends up in the summer. Now, this news almost broke the internet as there wasn't an ounce of transfer speculation coming from Liverpool, and all of a sudden, bang, Liverpool were linked with a move for Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi, who has a release clause of £51 million, which is not a lot in this market. Nah, seems like a straightforward deal. You match the release clause, have a discussion with the player, hopefully come to an agreement, and the player joins the club. Well, that's not how Liverpool do business. They were trying to negotiate a transfer fee, as apparently there were signals that Zubmimendi wanted to join Liverpool. But what ended up happening, Liverpool got taken for mugs, and Real Sociedad ended up presenting a new long-term contract for the player. Now, I know a lot of content creators were going a bit over the top, singing songs about Zubmimendi, and it was quite frankly quite embarrassing to watch. I never did any content because, if I'm being honest, I didn't have a lot of confidence in the deal getting done. I still have PTSD from the Caicedo and Lavia deals, and unfortunately, my concerns proved right. Zubmimendi, like he did with other clubs, rejected the offer and instead has committed to stay with his boyhood team and will be signing a new contract. Now, I'm not salty. I understand the situation. I always feel like it was a difficult task to prize him away from his boyhood club, from the city that he's from, and Spain altogether. The lifestyle is different from Spain and England, so it didn't look like the signs were there. But I think because we got news from certain journalists, the fans thought, maybe this is a deal that can be done. I think Richard Hughes, the sporting director of Liverpool, put all his eggs in one basket, but instead he's now got egg in his face. I'm disappointed that the deal did not get done, but hey, these things happen, and unfortunately it happens too frequently with Liverpool. But later on this evening, I'll be doing a more detailed show about this Zubmendi move. It will be taking place at 11 p.m. So make sure to tune in. And if you want to have a bit of a rant, feel free to come on the show. There will be a link available for you to call in. Now, sticking to Liverpool, it looks like Fabio Carvalho is heading out and set to join Brentford I believe he's passed the medical. The deal is reported to be £20 million plus add-ons that could rise up to 28 million altogether. I think this is a fantastic deal for the Reds and also for the player. Carvalho has shown some promise, especially in the preseason fixtures, but it's fair to say that he would have had very limited chances of breaking into the first team due to the quality that we possess in the squad. So I think this is a great deal all round. Brentford get a young player with huge potential, and he'll get plenty of chances to start for this team. And I'm hoping Liverpool, I probably added a sell-on clause because he's that type of player where if he really flourishes, he could add value to his stock. So good luck to Carvalho. Hopefully he does well at his new club. Another United rumour, and this time they're being linked with highly rated striker Evan Ferguson from Brighton. Unpopular opinion, I don't see the hype with Ferguson. Yes, he seems like a decent prospect, but people are talking about him like he's the next Harry Kane, which is far-fetched for me. He's actually been linked with a £50 million move to Old Trafford. We all know United need a striker, and on paper, Ferguson could fit the bill. I personally don't think he's ready to make that jump to a big club, and United should be targeting a striker who has experience and a record of being prolific. So, in my opinion, not the right move for the player or the club, but you never know. There could be some truth to rumour, so we might get some development in the coming days. Now, as it stands, there's a strong possibility that Palace could be losing Guehi to Newcastle. So it's only right that the South London team find an adequate replacement. And according to rumours, they have identified Wolves' Maxence Lacroix. I think this could be a good and smart signing for the Eagles. Profile-wise, he's not a left-footed centre-back, but he's able to play on both sides of the defence. He's tall, very strong, aggressive on the tackle, and is decent on the ball as well. He's on his last year of his contract, so he wouldn't break the bank. I think this would be a good signing for Palace, so this is definitely one to look out for in the coming days. However, there's been rumours circulating that Palace could lose another centre-back in Anderson. He's been linked with a return to Fulham, who've recently placed a bid of £20 million for the Danish defender. Should Palace accept the offer? I don't think they should. He's arguably their best defender, and for me, offers something different to his colleagues in the team. His passing distribution is pure class, and that's what gives him the edge to other defenders at the club. Plus, he's a leader and an experienced defender, and is a vital figure in that dressing room. So at this stage, I think it would be a mistake to sell him, especially when you're also selling Guehi. So losing two defenders in one window, it's not the way to go. But let's see how this rumor develops. Now, new Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca blames the league for forcing the hand of Chelsea to sell their academy players in order to meet the profitability and sustainability rules, which is complete BS. What Chelsea should do is stop buying random players across the world and protect the players that come through the grassroots and come through the ranks. Clearly, it's all business for the Chelsea owners. They couldn't care less about this sort of thing. And one player that looks like he's being dragged to the exit door is Trevor Chalobah. The player, unfortunately, is being forced to leave the club and is in fact training away from the squad. He's training alongside Lukaku and will be joined by Gallagher very soon as well. Not the way to treat a player that's come through the academy. And whenever he's played for Chelsea, he's done really well in the past. Chalobah is being linked with a move to Aston Villa, and I really hope there's some truth into this rumour, as it would be a great move for the player, and Villa will be signing a solid defender. The final rumour of the day, this news broke earlier, and apparently Manchester City have agreed a 70 million deal for Liverpool's Luis Diaz. Now, firstly, I think it's complete BS, as it's not from a reliable source. Secondly, Liverpool would be stupid to sell one of their top players to their biggest rivals. So for me, this transfer makes no sense, and it's obviously done for clout or clickbait, however you want to phrase it. That's just my opinion. But the concerning thing about this rumor is the reaction from Liverpool fans. Some fans are okay about Luis Diaz leaving the club. They might not be happy about him possibly joining Man City, but when he's been linked to the likes of Bayern Munich and PSG and Barcelona, they're happy with that news and they're pleased in terms of the possibility of losing Luis Diaz. Now, did you see how he played against Sevilla? Yes, I know it's one game, but for me, he's looked really good for Colombia in the Copa America, and he's continued his form into Liverpool. I think if he stays injury-free, he could have a big season for the Reds. But some fans seem happy with the fact that Luis Diaz could be sold, and to replace him, they're even more happy that is Gordon coming from Newcastle as his replacement. Now, what is the fascination with Gordon? Yes, I know he's a Scouser and he's a boyhood Red, and he had a decent season for Newcastle, but for me, I don't think he's good enough to play for the club. Diaz is miles or head and shoulders, how you can describe it, ahead of Gordon. And if Liverpool sign Gordon and sell Diaz, this would definitely be, for me, the most underwhelming signing in recent history. To put it into context, remember when Liverpool tried to sign Gareth Barry to replace Xabi Alonso all those years ago? That's the level of quality difference that I'm referring to when it comes to Diaz and Gordon. But let's see what happens in the window. I very much doubt that there's any truth to this rumor and Luis Diaz will not be sold to Man City. But crazy things have happened in the transfer market, especially in the Premier League. So we'll have to sit tight and see what happens. And that's the end of the show, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like the video. If you're new to the channel, show your support by hitting that subscribe button. We're back in full flow this week with the Premier League season set to begin this weekend. So lots of shows coming your way. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a Liverpool Transfer Talk episode at 10 p.m. UK time. On Thursday, it will be the first match preview of the season as we discuss Liverpool's first game against Ipswich Town. Saturday, I'll be doing a live watch along of the Ipswich Town and Liverpool game. The stream will start at 12:20 p.m. UK time. Then we'll wrap it up in the evening with a match reaction and call-in show at 10 p.m. UK time. I'm really excited about the new season ahead, and hopefully you'll be part of the journey as we present a lot of content throughout the season. So thank you as always, guys. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.